I want to show you my neovim and Claude code setup and explain why I think neovim is actually the best pairing to use with any type of agentic coding CLI like Codex, Claude Code, whatever you use. So for a while I was using tools like Conductor to do agentic coding, like running multiple parallel agents at once, and the whole premise of these agentic coding editors or agentic development environments, ADEs, whatever you want to call it, is that whenever the agent makes any code changes, since we're not really writing that much code and reviewing it instead, over here you will just click on any of these code changes and it'll open up a diff viewer. And this worked, but my one downside was that the diff viewer was just a pure text editor, text viewer with no fancy features like jump to definition or find all references. So I got really frustrated using Conductor. But then that's when I realized, like, wait a minute, I can just rebuild the whole Conductor parallel agent experience directly within a terminal experience and use neovim as my diff reviewing tool. And with neovim, I get access to the full-blown LSP features like jump to definition, find all references. So the way that I do that is first I created a script called YW. Horrible naming, but essentially the app that I'm building is called Yorbi. It's an AI social media marketer that we're trying to build, and this is short for Yorbi Workspace. And all this does is it creates a brand new work tree, and then it runs this script called Conductor Setup. So this is actually the same setup script that I use within Conductor. And what this does is it pulls any environment variables from my local environment, from like my parent local environment, as well as pulling environment variables from the cloud, and then running install and setup commands like pm install, pm build to make sure everything is good to go. And then the terminal that I'm using, which is Warp, actually lets you run this in a script as well. So then when I create a brand new terminal tab, you can see that it's kicking off this brand new session where on the left hand side it's running my whole setup script, and on the right hand side immediately it's kicking off Claude so I can start going and making changes right then and there. So the neovim setup that I'm primarily using is Kickstart neovim. It's pretty much largely vanilla Kickstart neovim, very few configurations, very few changes made to it. And the way that it works is whenever Claude or whatever CLI tool you're using makes any changes and I want to view the diffs, I open up neovim and then I do space gs for git status, and it shows you all the files that were changed, and then you can open up that file. And then I personally like doing horizontal diff view, so I do space hd, and it gives you that side-by-side git preview of what exactly changed. And then because this is Vim and not just a simple text editor, you can do stuff like grd to go view the definition, grr to view all references, all from your terminal without having to open up a separate editor like VS Code. The one modification that I did make is I installed this one plugin as diffview.neovim. So basically when you open it up and install it, you do space do, and it opens up a VS Code diff viewing experience with all the changed files on the left hand side, and then it opens up a side-by-side diff viewer on the right hand side. And then because there's a lot more like agent first terminals like CMux or Warp is what I'm using right now, it lets you spin up multiple agents, multiple workspaces at once, run multiple parallel agents, and just rinse and repeat this entire workflow of making changes with the CLI tool, view the diffs within neovim, and call it a day. If you're interested in a more in-depth video where I go over my entire neovim and Claude code setup, you can watch this video right here.